thank you. And Jim Cheng.
Hi, good morning. Jim Chen, State Demographer with the Arizona Office of Economic Opportunity.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. George Hammond.
Hi, George Hammond. I am the director of the Economic and Business Research Center here at the University of Arizona. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Matt Taylor.
Yes, good morning. Matt Taylor, Planning Manager with the Town of Marana.
Thank you. And Mirala Hormatka.
Hi, good morning. Mirella Hermatka, Pima County Regional Wastewater Department.
Yeah, thank you for joining. And Melanie Sims.
Hi, Melanie Sims, Town of Aurora Valley.
Then it's popping up and down. Nathan Barrett.
Hello, Nathan Barrett, Town of Sahuarita, Community Development Deputy Director.
Great. Yeah, thank you for joining. And Pamela Keene.
Hi, I'm Pamela Keene. I'm Tucson Unified School District's Planning Analyst.
Thank you. And Samantha.
Hi, sorry I'm late. Samantha Denning from Pima County Development Services.
Yeah, great. Thank you for joining. And Totter.
Salomon, demographer with the Office of Economic Opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. And Tracy. Tracy, are you there?
Sorry, it wouldn't let me unmute for some reason when I
No
clicked on
worries.
the button. I'm Tracy Gutheim with Pima County Development Services.
Okay, then let me double check the attendees. Ann Martin.
Hi, Ann Martin. I'm with Pima Community College STAR Office of Institutional Research.
Great. Yeah, thank you for joining. And Anthony Batchelder.
Yes, Anthony Batchelder, Pima County Finance.
Great. Yeah, thank you for joining. Then I think, is there anyone I miss for our jurisdictional partners there or interested parties? Nope. Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, thank you. And Pima County, we have Bree and Crystal, Dawn and Jesse, and for our all just coordination regarding and this meeting, and Caroline, Eric, and James, Jeanette, and who else? And Xiao and Yumi. Thank you for joining together. So next agenda item, in kind form, regional planning efforts are enhanced by recording time donated by attendees, volunteers, and participants. PAC collect data on the time dedicated to meetings and activities to apply for use as matching funds for grants and federal dollars. If you are paid with federal dollars, please let us know now. Time spent in preparation for this meeting will be estimated by PAC staff who are knowledgeable of the agenda and meeting materials. At the conclusion of this meeting, the session report will automatically calculate your time spent in this meeting. Time spent working on PAC RTA initiatives, programs, special projects may also be eligible for consideration for matching funds. Thank you. And moving forward, 2024 building permits update, and Caroline, and would you go ahead?
Yeah. So good morning, everyone. Once a year, I have to present this building permit update to you guys. Let's see. Okay, I think this is slide. So let's look at what I'm going to present to you. At the very beginning, I would explain to you why we collect this kind of building permit data, and then I show you the data and show you some analysis. So why we do the data collection? First of all, Arizona State Office of Economic Opportunity that will do the population estimate for July 1st every year. And so what their methodology, they require to have the building permit, the housing residential building permit data for their in their calculation. So PET is collect those data for AOEO to do the population estimate. And then AOEO also use the number, the data that we got it from PET, we turn around to give to Census Bureau for their population estimate programs. That means you get two sets of population estimate, one from AOEO, another one from Census Bureau. Those building permit data, besides using for the population estimate, we also use for PET, different projects, different models. And then once a while, we get some public requests to ask for some permit information, and we'll give them some give them to some statistics about the building permits. So mainly this is the 4 major reasons why we collect the data is for AOEO, for Census Bureau, and also for PET. So we collect the data annually, starting from last year, June 1st, to current year, June 30, those 12 months data. And we prefer that we collect the data, we get the data, get the records from jurisdiction monthly. That is what we prefer. But if we cannot get the monthly, quarterly, or biannual, we will, whatever, any record, any frequency, we will happy to get the data, get the records from jurisdiction. So after this is the what we had try to get the records from the jurisdiction. For AOEO, they request the COGS. COGS means Council of Governments, and PET is one of those Council of Governments. AOEO requests the data every half year. Usually it is in January, February, ask PET to submit the data for July to December. And then in summer, July or August, ask for another round of data for January to June. What they require PET to submit is the number of permits for completion, number of units, and mainly actually is the housing units for the completion and demolition. And so these numbers were going to be incorporated in the calculation for the subcounty population estimate. And the population estimate will be published every year, December 15. So when we collect the residential building permit records, we mainly collect 2 types, but basically it's the completion and demolition. So for completion, we count number of permits and units within this 12 months, according to the completion date. That means the units, the permit is finished, the construction within these 12 months. But on the other hand, for the demolition, we are not looking at the completion. We're looking at the date when the demolition permit were issued. Why is the different days? Because when the permit to construct a new house, when they finish, that means the house is ready for move in. People can live in that house. So the house could be occupied. But on the other hand, for demolition, once the permit was issued, the house supposed to be vacant or on the process to demolish. It doesn't matter how long it takes to demolish the house, as long as the permit is issued, the house should not have people live there. And so that housing unit is being taken off in the housing unit inventory. So we look at the house, whether it's livable, whether the people can live in. So that's why for the completion, for the new house being built, we look at the completion date within that 12 months. For the demolition, we look at what the permit were issued within these 12 months. So in order to analyze the data, be easy to have the quote the code for each building permit type, for housing unit type, sorry. We collect different housing units like single family, multifamily, duplex. That is different housing unit type. Why is that? Because it takes different time. It takes longer time to build an apartment rather than a single family. So that's why it will be nice. It is necessary to identify what type of housing unit of that permit. We use the census bureau based guideline for the coding. So 101 means single family, and 105 means apartment complex. 103 means duplex, such like that. Or for the demolition, for 645 is the single family demolition, and 648 means the apartment demolition. So that is the code that we put it in the analysis. Let's look at the data. So we still try to review Tucson's records. So this is not finalized, it's a preliminary number, but we still want to show you guys. Within these 12 months, among those 5 jurisdictions, we have about 4,100 single family housing unit for these 5 jurisdictions were finished, completed within those 12 months. And also we have about less than 200 duplex or 4plex. And we have almost 1,500 apartments units were finished within those 5 jurisdictions. And we have also a small number of demolition, about 73 demolition among those 5 jurisdictions. So we look at that 5,878 housing units finished within these 12 months and 73 demolished. So the net increase, net change is 5,800. Compared to previous fiscal year, it's about 50 units more than the previous year. So it's slightly more housing units this round, these 12 months. We look at each jurisdiction house building permit record. 101, as I said, is a single family. 105 is apartment complex. And you can see Marana have just finished one in August with 195 apartment units finished. So it increased a big jump of a population, the housing unit in August. And generally speaking, overall, the single family is not really much different, usually somewhere around 60, 70, except a couple of months that are almost over 100, but usually the average is somewhere around 80 per month, with some of those apartments that finish each month. So the major one is August. Total 12 months, we get 1,644 housing unit finished. So within these 12 months, Marana, the housing unit inventory increased 1,644 housing unit. Look at them already. Majority of housing unit, they are single family. But in January, there were 1 apartment finished with 64 units finished in January. And so it made the whole housing unit inventory increase 199 housing unit with 2 demolitions. So you still have 197 net increase already. And look at the Florida. There are no apartments, no duplex. Purely all the permits are single family. And generally, it seems like majority, most of the months, we got about 30, 40 units finished each month. That it seems like about 30, that is the average. And so whole year of this 12 months, we got almost 400 units finished. This is the preliminary number for Tucson, and you can tell there are large apartment complex finished, particularly in November. We have 200 finished, and then you get just half year ago in May, 120 units finished also. majority of the units are single family. Every month you get about 100 units finished or close to 100. And then once in a while you get some duplex. But majority seems like look at the most the highest date, highest month was November. You got more than 300 units finished in November, mainly because the apartment complex with 216 units finished in November. And look at the Pima County, majority still the single family with some mobile home. 900 is mobile home. Once in a while, you get some mobile home, maybe in the outside, those remote countryside. They put the people. There's common that they put the mobile home, the trailer in their properties. We still have a few apartment campus finished last several months. March, April, May, June. There are several apartments finished. Majority still is just the single family with average it's about similar. It's about 100 units every month. With April has the highest. They that have April and May had the two highest months. That has over 160 units finished because of the we get some apartments with also the housing single family. Try to mainly look at how long it takes to finish the a single family building permit. In 2022 January, Miranda took over 300 days, already about 300 days. So Pima County take over a year. And then 2023, we know that it's possible because supply chain problem. There seems like the builders have problem to get the material. It takes longer time to finish in that 12 months in previous fiscal years. And possible seems like maybe the situation get better, improve the supply chain problem, maybe solve a little bit. So looks like it takes shorter time to finish the house right now in fiscal year 2024. It takes less days to finish a house compared to the previous fiscal year. This is also look at how long, generally speaking, those permits, how long it takes to finish it. Majority of the, like this is Miranda, it takes maybe 7 months. You finish more than half of the permits already finished in half year. And then by 1 year, 12 months later, you get 80% of the permit of the single family will be finished in 1 year. You get very small number of houses maybe take more than a year to finish, but majority will still finish. Not 80% of the permit will finish less than a year. And then look at already. It's slightly slower. It would take about 12 months of year to get half of the permit finished. So you get 54% of permit finished in 10 to 12 months. And then you have to get to 2 years, like 22 to 24 months, will finish 84% of the permit. And generally speaking, is still seems like still not as catch up as previous years. Seems like the previous years a little bit faster, but we still have all those permit finished, majority of permit finished in 2 years. And this is look at the Pima County. Actually, it's pretty quick. In almost 50% of the permit is finished in 9 months. In less than 9 months time, and then once get to 12 months, 1 year time, we get 65% of the permit will finish in 1 year, and then in 2 years time, you get 94% of the permit finished less than 2 years. So you can see how the percentage change within the last several years, and it is better than the previous year. So this is my last slide, and if you have any question, feel free to ask.
And do you have any questions for building permit data? Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It looks like the last graph, you have the line that goes to about 100%. So are you seeing almost all the permits eventually finish around the 2-year mark?
We are using the completion data, right? So this is completion. That means all of that. The last column is, that means you still have some of the unit take more than 2 years to finish. Like this slide, 89 units is take over 2 years to finish a permit. So we are looking at completion data. Yeah.
The universe is completions. There may be some permits that never got finished.
Yeah. Well, but because we did not look at the issue data, this is talk about among all the completion, because all the data we give to AOEO are completion. That means whatever all the permit, maybe some permit have never really finished. We do not, if we put it aside, we do not look at them. We look at whatever those permits have been finished, completed, and we look at how long it to finish. It could be 10 months, it could be 16 months, it could be 2 years. So that's the that's why 100% is because all the data right here are completion data.
Got it. Do you have a feel of how many permits never gets finished? Did you ever look at that?
Okay, so I don't look at it because not all the how to say it. That is, we have to really extra time to try to compare. We do not look at how many completion rate. You talk about how many permit never finish, because sometimes there's some permit they cancel or they have to withdraw. It happened. I did see it, but I did not really look at what's the completion rate. That how many permit issued but never complete.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, great, thank you. Any other question? Okay, then just moving forward, next agenda item. RMAP, a modeling update, and let me have a control. Okay, good. Let me just check. Okay, thank you. And 2055 RMAP development update, and I actually will here in the James and Shao will discuss about and our just the update and the content and the introduction, land use model update, activity-based model, travel demand model update, and timeline. So 2055 IMAP modeling and status. So I want to just to give you in short in the status update. And so far we collected all just the needed in the data for our just the modeling side, land use model, travel demand model. Currently just the testing and running and both model, land use model and the travel demand model, which is the activity-based model. So far, and for land use model, identify the jurisdictional sector and the specific employment and the housing unit growth, and which is based on the discussion the last time just we had just in August, applying like just the employment population ratio and for our just forecasted employment growth and the expectation, so which was applied in this discussion. So James will discover and or just discuss with you and about that update. So far, just tested in the first period up to 2030, and for activity-based model and identified some performance measures, including just the existing RMAP, the performance measures, and plus just the equity related and the air quality related and the performance measures. And completed in the 2030 and the land use model and the activity activity-based model, like an integration. So it's a conversion model. So land use model output supposed to be and the input of just the travel demand model for the current year or next year of the land use model. And so we have to just have some just a conversion in the module. So just just the Xiao will and discuss about that and the conversion and where we are. And moving forward, and James, and would you go ahead and your update for land use model?
Yep. Okay, there we go. I'm on. And I think I have slide control here. All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm James Tokishi, Transportation Data Science Manager here at PEG. I'm just going to update you on the current progress and procedure for the land use model. Here's where, since you mentioned, here's where we are right now. We have the 2024 travel demand models base year that was reviewed and run and completed. And we are then running the land use model and travel demand model in conjunction for every 5-year period between 2024 through the end of the RMAP modeling period at 2055. So that's 2024. We are skipping 25, so we're just going 2024 to 2030, 35, 40, 45, 50, and 55. I also, as you mentioned, we've finished the first land use model stage. So we have 2030 that we're reviewing and getting ready to then run the travel demand model for that period. Going back to the land use model itself, for our procedure, here's some of our incoming assumptions. First of all, there is no negative growth. So in the event that a period does have a forecast of a decline in either employment or housing unit or population / housing units, that gets just converted into a 0. Additionally, jurisdictions will maintain their base year total employment population ratio, referred to in the rest of my portion here as minimum growth. Known projects will override the period control totals as well as employment sector control totals for each jurisdiction. However, the 2055 jurisdictional total employment, by which I mean, again, that minimum growth, as well as regional total employment control totals must be maintained. The procedure for that, which we discussed at our last meeting. First step is to determine the existing jurisdictional population, employment, and then employment population ratios. We use the forecast year jurisdictional population and the existing employment population ratios to determine the minimum expected employment growth by jurisdiction. We then subtract the known projects from the minimum expected employment growth totals, and then rebalance those minimum expected employments by sector and by period. Anything left over from that rebalancing is then assigned, for each jurisdiction, each one of the remainder of these minimum expected that was not offset by the known projects is then assigned by jurisdiction, and anything remaining for the period that wasn't consumed by the minimum growth and rebalancing is then assigned regionally. One thing, so yeah, for the population forecast, we're using the mid-range AOEO projection. A couple things to take note of here is that you can see that in Oro Valley from 2045 on, that projection has 0 population growth, as well as for South Tucson over the entire forecast period that also has no projected population growth. So for the housing unit forecasts, we applied the 2022 ACS 5-year occupancy rate and persons per household by jurisdiction. Again, after 2040, Oro Valley has, so 2045, 50, and 55 for Oro Valley, that's all 0, as well as for South Tucson, that is again all 0 for the period. For the employment forecast, we're using a adjusted mid-range EBRC forecast, just so we can actually push this out to the final RMAP forecast year. And now taking that, going back to the minimum employment by jurisdiction. So this is the rebalance totals by sector and by year. So minimum employment plus known projects by sector and by period. So for Marana, here's your distribution. 4,000 industrial, rounding off 3,300 retail, 300 wholesale, for 460 fire, about 7,000 service, and 800 public sector. Oro Valley, again, well, so 2045 did have a few identified known projects, which is why those values are non-zero. 2050, 2055, again, because they had 0 projected population growth, there's nothing to allocate for the minimum expected. But then you have 2030, 35, and 40, you have values here. Sahuarita, you did have some known projects, but you also have population growth over the whole period. So it ends up with about 144 industrial, 587 retail, 0 wholesale, 92 fire, 1,590 service, and 111 public service. South Tucson, again, because there was 0 forecast population growth, this whole table just comes out to 0. For Tucson, one thing that really pops out here is that in 2040, there was a very large service sector known project, which did impact what the assigned totals in following years. But summing up for the period, we have 2,736 industrial jobs, 2,303 retail, 240 wholesale, 1,111 fire, 24,393 service, and 1,199 public service. Pima County, exactly the same procedure here. 2,444 industrial, 1,822 retail, 508 wholesale, 676 fire, 6,079 service, and 470 public service jobs by the end of that period. Then after subtracting all of the known and minimum projects out of the EBRC forecast totals for the period, you can see 20, 35, 40, 45, and 50 are basically all consumed by the minimums and known projects, leaving only 600 fire and 7,300 service jobs to be globally allocated in 2030, and 108 fire and 1,125 service jobs to be allocated in the final period, 2055. Just putting those side by side and breaking those totals down by sector and by jurisdiction. You can see here the high service sector employment in the city of Tucson are due to that one large known project. Oro Valley also has fairly high has a fairly high retail allocation due to known projects in 2030 and 2040. Other sectors and jurisdictions are fairly similar to their base year distributions. Total growth by period, just how much of each jurisdiction's growth happens in each period. Again, you can see here those high known projects in Oro Valley in 2030 and 2040. In Tucson, you can see again that large 2040 known project. Everyone else is fairly even distributions. Although again, Oro Valley does taper off in 2050 and 2055 due to the zero population growth in the back years of the forecast period. Then this is just a comparison of all of the region-wide employment sector totals after their rebalancings. You can see looking at the total EBRC and rebalance 2055, the regional totals are still the same. The rebalancing of unknown projects and jurisdiction totals do impact the relative proportions per sector for new employments. But once you add everything all back together, you can see that the rebalance 2055 distributions in that very bottom row still look pretty similar to both the 2023 distributions and the EBRC's 2055 distribution. Moving on, this is just a very quick plotting of the 2030 housing unit allocation. I'll have additional zoomed in maps after this, so don't squint too hard at this. These are allocated housing unit densities as housing units per acre, and all of these blue teal dots are known projects within the this first model period. Zooming in a little bit, you can see Marana is almost entirely known projects here, so you're not seeing too much green up there. Oro Valley has a good mix of SAM allocated and known projects. Moving up to the south, you can see both Pima County and Tucson having both known projects and that large amount of green and some yellow in sort of around the downtown area that indicates where the SAM is allocating housing units. Then just zooming in a bit more, because even that's a little small, you can see again that spread green, yellow, as well as the known project points. And then moving down to Sahuarita, you can see green, yellow, and again, known projects. Flipping that over then to the employment allocations. These are allocated employment density as total employments, which is just the sum of all employment sectors per acres, as well as again, employment known project locations in that blue teal color. For our northern region, see here where both again the known project as well as the employment densities in Marana and Oro Valley. Within the central region, largely city of Tucson, as they did before, pulling that in. And then moving down to Sahuarita. Okay, and that's where I'm done, up to, again, that 2030 first period allocation. If you have any questions, I can answer those or hand this off to Shao.
Yeah, thank you, James. Do you have any question regarding our just land use model and the application? No? Oh, great. Yeah, thank you. And moving forward, Shao, would you take it?
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for James for updating our STEM land use model status. So today I will be presenting the
Xiao, I'm sorry, just interrupting you. So, I think just the mic is a little like just noise and I hear. So would you maybe just double check in case?
yes, microphone. Is this microphone better?
Yeah, I think it's good now. Thank you.
Yeah. So I will be presenting the updates on integrating our ABM activity-based model with our SAM land use model for our 2055 RMAP modeling. I will be guide you through how we are processing the parcel level SAM land use model outputs James just showed you to the MAZ level controls for the activity-based model. Firstly, I would like to introduce how we process the population outputs from SAM land use model. SAM land use model's outputs are the housing units developed in the recent 5 to 8 years, and the activity-based model needs the MAZ level household and the population controls. Then we can run the population synthesis and the activity generator and then traffic assignment. So here, what we did is we joined the SAM housing units data with the current census and jurisdiction boundaries. Then we estimate the number of households, number of population, and then household by size, by number of workers, and by income, and population by age, and by using the latest American Community Survey data. After we got a draft population estimates at the parcel level, we adjusted the population at the jurisdiction level based on the projections from AOEO at that year, in that year. And finally, we aggregate the parcel level population and household by age, by income, by size, by workers, everything to MAZ level, then we can run the ABM for the population side. Next, let's talk about processing the employment outputs from the SAM land use model. As James just showed, the SAM land use model outputs the parcel level employment data with broader sectors like retail, finance, public service, and industrial. But however, for ABM, our input data are categorized using the NICS code. So in order to transform that data into ABM, by the sector data into ABMs by NICS code, we calculate the base year NICS code employment distribution by SAM sector at the MAZ level. Then we assign the output land use model sector employment with NICS code based on the base year NICS code sector distribution, and then get the MAZ level employment control by aggregating the parcel level data. Here we are showing the MAZ level controls we generated from the 2030 population outputs from our SAM land use model. And we see the high growth near downtown Tucson, Marana, Oro Valley, and Sahuarita, and a few low growth along the River Road and west of I-10. Just like the population outputs, we are showing the employment growth control across the region for our ABM inputs generated from the SAM outputs James just showed. Like the areas along I-10, the State Route 210 and the Valencia Road, we see a high growth of employment. And we see medium growth along I-19, La Chola Boulevard, and State Road 77. And we still see some sparse growth along State Road 86, River Road, Broadway Boulevard, Speedway Boulevard, and Grant Road. So with updated inputs to run the ABM, we will assess the outputs of the ABM by using the performance measure, a variety of performance measures to process the model outputs. These includes the RMAP transportation performance measures, air quality measures, and equity measures. So for the air quality, we check the greenhouse gas, PM 2.5, PM 10, and other pollutants. And for RMAP transportation, we monitor the VMT, mode share, VHT, along with commute travel times by mode. And on the equity side, we are looking at the transportation measures for the vulnerable populations, and we are also measuring the accessibility to jobs and essential services like hospital and schools for vulnerable populations. And these help us to forecast and evaluate the accessibility, mobility, air quality, equity, and other important performance for our 2055 RMAP planning scenarios. As we move forward, the next step will be running the updated AVM with new land use model outputs, extending our projections to 2055. We will continue testing the model at a 5-year intervals. Additionally, we are working on replicate the performance measure used in our existing chip-based model within the ABM. And we will also develop new performance measures like the air quality and equity-based ones to evaluate our planning scenarios. That's the update of the ABM part. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Xiao. And do you have any questions for activity-based model and the travel demand model? The modeling questions, any input data questions, anything? Okay, yeah. Thank you. And moving forward, the timeline, would you just move forward, Xiao? Yeah, thank you. So we're currently like just a year yet, just a 2030. As James mentioned, we have to just move forward in the further year in the 2035, 2040, 45, and 2050, 55 finally. And so we're currently testing and running and the land use model, travel demand model. And we hope to just share in Q4, and meaning that in December, more likely, we'd like to share and the TAG outputs. And we can also share some just the detailed outputs and regarding our just the model. And the TAG outputs might be and easier for you to just consume and understanding of employment just the growth, plus just the population and the growth. So based on your expectation, and we're gonna just review together. Also, we are seeking in the approval of those TEG outputs, and especially in the modeling side. And plus, just we have, as just Caroline mentioned, and we're gonna just have county level and the sub-county level population estimates, and it's due by December 15th. That's the AOEO deadline. So we have to just meet and discuss about those and the estimates and the sub-county level, county level. And so hoping to just have just a discussion earlier than just the 15th of December. So we are targeting like just the December 4, and which is just the interim PopTech meeting, and we'd like to just schedule. That is a Wednesday in the first week of Wednesday, the morning time. And because of the, I don't know about AOEO and the timeline, but I think it would be and good, like just at least 10 days earlier, uh, the for and the AOL to have some time and internal, like just like a finishing up and the process of those and the population estimates. So, and I'm not sure just if you have any questions about that, like a timeline, especially for AOU and Jim Cheng, do you think it's kind of a doable and having like a discussion about the population estimates around the time?
December 4th, we should have the final estimates. Well, when I say final, it should be out of our office, should be somebody should be reviewing that. I should be, okay, so I should have a estimated product that I consider to be final. And my leadership will be reviewing that. And there is also a process for Department of Economic Security to review and approve. So, yeah, in any event, I think for all practical purposes, we should have a final product.
Yeah, so hoping to just review and all together. Also, just whenever your number's ready, we may share in the version draft earlier and for the discussion, the final draft or final version at the December 4th.
Yeah, we would have the product, but that product we can share with you. But that will be free release. So everybody here can see it, but they're not free to release.
Yeah, I totally understand it. So any just a pre-version and Alice just Pat will review and together with Caroline and Eric. And then just after having some just the feedback and from you, and then maybe we can discuss and more likely just we agreed and no and mistakes, no errors and numbers and kind of just right. Then we will just share the version for final the review with the jurisdictional partners.
So that version, I think for if we are talking about the product in this meeting, it will be more for information and discussion.
That's right.
If there is feedback, unless there is glaring errors, if there is obvious errors, we're going to fix it. But if it's just some minor suggestions, questions, we probably will not be able to incorporate into the product. At that time, like I said, I will consider that product to be final. We're not going to be making changes to the methodology or anything like that. The only thing that I would consider doing is to fix obvious errors.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. And just in case too, and our jurisdiction partners and the interested parties, as the members of COGS and the Council of Government, and we are and reviewing together and with the AOEO. So we'd like to just share and kind of just a hassle-free just in the review and the items and by then and December 4th.
And just to be sure, there will be plenty of opportunities for tax staff to see several drafts and provide input before the December 4th meeting.
That's right. Yeah, thank you. And additional thing, and for our just RMAP and the 2055, I'm just talking to jurisdictional partners and especially because of we are going to just ask and your approval and for those in the employment and population projection, just the TAG output by the time. But right now we are actually just trying to prepare earlier and for your review, hoping to just have in the final discussion and asking your approval by December 4th. But if we don't have just enough time, we may just ask another round, maybe just 2 weeks later, and more likely 18th in December. But this is just a placeholder and the date we've been thinking just in case. And but we will just update you if we have some just the hiccups in terms of like just running whole models, and then we will just update you. And by the time like it's the when we discuss at December 4. Regarding that, do you have any questions? Okay, yeah. Then if needed, just we can actually just go on like a one-on-one meeting and for the product and the outputs, which might be just which may be just much easier to for you to, especially jurisdictional partners, to consume the material. And then if you think that's actually preferred, then we will just discuss in the one-on-one meeting about those and the outputs during the time just this November and after Thanksgiving or before Thanksgiving, and plus just some time in just December. For the 2025 Q1, and after just your approval done, and we're gonna just wrap up and our just the modeling side, and which means that, and as Xiao discussed here today, and all those performance measures, and working together with the planning team, we're gonna just review internally and discuss with different committees, and if needed, and we can also discuss about that just performance measures with PopTech members. And at the time, we will just do our just air quality conformity analysis. I think that's all just the plan, and giving you a heads up for 2025 Q1 as well. So in the November time and December time, and will be a little bit busier than expected. So we may just reach out and more than just what we planned. So that's the another just update. And so also just thank you, always thank you for your cooperation and also working together with us. Okay, I think that's all item in the timeline for overall, or just any questions, and if you have for RMAP modeling. Okay, great, thank you so much. And then moving forward, next, oh yeah, so finally just adjournment, and now 10:30. Thank you, and we adjourn our just meeting today, and October 23rd. And thank you so much for your participation, and we will discuss further items in December. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you
Bye.
later.
Bye.